Hey everyone, it's Arsenal Fan Circle. It's the Sunday show on Monday. And why was that? That's because I went on holiday, I went on vacation. You know, family first. And yeah, that's what happens. The Sunday show Monday night on the Thursday forum time slot. So if you're all confused, it's all my fault. So Stan up top with me as usual. Stan, thanks for
Hello,
joining.
mate. Yeah, I'm all right. Other than my continued battle against foot fungus, I'm fine.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Hey, that's on you. We were talking about that before we went live, and I wasn't going to be the first topic of discussion, but
It's a bastard.
Can you really complain about foot fungus when Tony's coming on?
No.
This is a quick story, right? That reminded me of something. I had a doctor phone call consultation, and I told her what the problem was, and she recommended like these drops that I've got to put on. And then these drops, I rang ahead to the chemist and I asked them how much they were, and they were like $117. And my doctor said I've got to keep using it for a year. And my missus said to me, "What did the doctor say?" She said, "I can get these drops, but," I said, "they're bloody expensive, $117, man." And she just looked at me and she went, "Think of Tony." I was like, "Hey, you fucking got me on that one, ain't you?" Yeah. Talk about checkmate.
For real.
Got me. So I'm like, okay, I better go and get the drops then. So
that dude will help you put things in perspective. And we're still trying to raise some money here, so I'll put that banner up for Tony here. If anyone's new in the house, doesn't know about it, or if you know about it, keep retweeting it, keep spreading the word. But yeah, listen, Lolo via Brooklyn on the stoop. Thanks for joining us
Good to
tonight.
see you guys. Thank you guys for inviting me. I'm glad to see Mr. Tom is here. Mr. Tom is one of our longest running stoop crew members. So we refer to our fans, the ones who are actually members of our channel, as our stoop crew, and they represent Mr. Tom's big time member of the stoop crew. So good seeing you, and I know for a fact he's in London. So it's late there, but he's still here. So good.
Hey,
and the Frenchican, I know of the Frenchican as well.
Yeah, we have our loyal followers as well, and they tune in from the UK as well.
Nice.
Thursday nights, and it's Monday night, so we'll see what happens.
Look at Mark already giving shit. He says Tony doesn't have a leg to stand on. He has one. Got about as much as Arsenal does right now. We got one leg to stand on, which, come on, boys, we had none just a couple weeks ago. All right.
Yeah. No, we've got six. We got 6 legs to stand on, or 2 wins to stand on. Whatever way you want to make it. So listen, we are cleared for takeoff here. Stan, you kind of put me onto this team, airport theme. So hopefully everybody's at the gate right now. We're loading up. We get ready. We're cleared for takeoff. Destination Emirates Stadium, 22 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny for Wednesday. I checked that out earlier. So you see the effort I go to for you guys.
I like it. You planned out the flight path. I like it.
Yeah, you don't have to get your umbrellas out. You can put your lotion on. You're going to get a tan down at the Emirates on Wednesday evening, and it's going to be AFC Wimbledon, right?
AFC Wimbledon, man. Yeah. We learned a lot about them last season.
Well, a couple of points of order I wanted to get through first. A couple of a somber note here. First of all, most of us will remember Satan Greavesy, and Tottenham legend Greavesy passed away, unfortunately, in the last day or two, and also one of our own, John Chalice from Only Fools and Horses, Boise.
Yeah, man, Boise.
So much respect to those, and we must pay our respects from this channel to the families of those people. Listen, that's where we're at right now. So Stan, Wimbledon, sunny Wednesday. Yeah, the panel tonight is. Let me get back on track here after this somber news here. Panel tonight is Lolo from On the Stoop, and Tony, Stan the man. You still go by Stan the brand, Stan? And Gary, no, caught you off guard there, didn't I?
Yeah.
So listen, one other thing we do, newcomers, they have to tell us quickly their Arsenal story. Lolo, how'd you get into Arsenal?
Bring it. So yeah. All right. Where
Bring it or sing it.
Bring it or sing it. Well, there was once a Lolo. No. So yeah, I was living in New Orleans for the longest time. Diehard New Orleans Saints fan. I got the fleur-de-lis on my arm right here. Big time NFL, all about it. And my brother-in-law moved. So I moved to New York, and then my brother-in-law moved to Brooklyn, and he's from Dublin. And he is a diehard gunner. Kits from all ages. His sister is actually still his sister is a Carol. Big shout out to Carol. She's a bigger fan than he is. She still lives in Dublin, flies to every single home game, flies into London, and then flies home for the night. She's got 2 kids. It's crazy. I don't understand how you do that.
Well, yeah, it's a short flight, right?
It's a short flight, yeah. So for us, it's like getting a cab to the airport. It takes you an hour and a half. So
I've done it myself. I'm from Kildare, so that's 30 miles west of Dublin. So we're neighbors. We fly into London. 45 minutes there, in and out. So yeah, continue, Lolo, your story.
All right. So basically, he was like, he was talking to me about football, and he's like, "Do you watch football?" And I was like, "Yeah, I watch NFL." And he's like, "No, football, proper football."
Yeah.
And I was like, I always watch the World Cup and things like that. And he's like, "No, you gotta watch proper football. You gotta watch Arsenal. You gotta watch Arsenal play. You gotta watch the real men play football." And I was like, "Okay, I'll hear you out, but I'm gonna teach you about the NFL. And you're gonna be a Saints fan. If you make me an Arsenal fan, I'll make you a Saints fan." So he taught me everything that I could know. And to be fair, he wasn't like, "You're gonna be an Arsenal fan." He said, "I'm going to teach you about football and about my club." And by the end of it all, within the first season, I had stopped really watching NFL. And
when was this? Whenabouts was this?
This must have been 10 or 11 years ago.
So coming to the sort of the latter half of Wenger's era.
Yes. So there were already shouts of Wenger out, and I'm looking at it as like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, knowing the history of what this guy has done for you, you don't tell him out. He'll tell you when he's leaving, and you deal with that. Now, I wasn't there for the heights to feel the dip. So I kind of started in a little bit of a dip, still 4th place every single year, still celebrating St. Tottenham's Day. So you guys remember those days?
Yeah,
it was
where it was
so close a few times.
It was a given.
It was a given, right?
Oh my God!
It was a certainty. It was a certainty.
But it got to the point where, like, even this season, like, somebody was like, "Oh, the Saints killed Green Bay in the opening game." See, I almost called it the opening match. No, the opening game of the NFL season. And I was like, I caught the second half of that because I forgot that it was even on. But then it was so painful to watch because the amount of commercials and just like 2 seconds left in the first half and Green Bay's driving, they go to commercial for 5 minutes and then come back one play and then it's halftime, all commercials. And I'm just like, it's infuriating. Not to mention hearing Americans and other people say that soccer is boring. I'm like, excuse me, how is a match? How is the first half of a match where you have one beer and you're like this? You want another? Yeah. Hold on. I have to pee. But you can't stop looking. And then it's like halftime. Rush the bar, rush the bathroom, get back, and you stand there. as opposed to, oh, let's get to the bar, the NFL, the kickoff. Here we go, kickoff. Okay, I'm gonna go have a smoke.
The stoppages in between, yeah.
Like so that right away just got me dead on to Premier League, to football in general. And then I dove into it. And then it was like, okay, am I really going to be an Arsenal supporter? Because I understand once I choose my club, because I wasn't born there, like a lot of people who are British people and people who have a club in their county or something, you're kind of born into it.
Yeah.
This is like, no, if I'm going to do it, I'm not switching over and becoming freaking Chelsea fan next year or even or anything. And so I made the conscious decision, and I looked through it, and I liked the history. I really appreciated Arsene Wenger. And I understood that, look, you got to realize that he is not going to be the coach. He is not going to be the manager of Arsenal for the majority of the time that I'm going to be an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
So it can't be my only one. But I thought it was a culture that he had built. I liked the way they looked coming off the buses. It looked like it was more about the stars. And at the time, I fell in love with Santi Cazorla. I just like
You're not the only one.
That
what
dude,
a player.
He's just like not even the best player at his position in the world, or probably not even in the top 10 of most people's. But the way he played, the way as a team they came together. So that's really how I got into it. Short story, my brother-in-law made me an Arsenal fan, and I made him a Saints fan. He really wants to support Green Bay for some reason, and I told him, no, it's too late. A lot of our fans want me to be a Leeds United fan because I have a lot of love for Marcelo Bielsa. I have a lot of love for what they have done in the past 3 years as a club. But it's too late. It's too late. There's a cannon tattooed on my heart, not even on my chest. And like that, the silly song I played for you guys in the 24-hour stream, the Tottenham Sucks video, where it's like, and there'll always be a cannon on my crest.
Yeah.
I don't, even if Spurs are top and we're bottom, even if it finished that way and we got relegated, what? I'm gonna support somebody else? Like, no. I would think I have a lot of admiration for a lot of these Leeds United fans because, we had a Leeds United fan call into the show who was like 16 years old. I'm like, so you mean to tell me your entire life you've never seen them play in the Premier League or the top flight?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I was like, so what? You're 16. Rebel. Go be a Scum fan. Go be a Chelsea and he's like, no, not a chance. And so that to me is like, and there you go right there. You can change your wife, but you can't change your football club.
You got Brady.
And that's where I am. So I feel like our show allows me to appreciate other clubs in a way a lot of people like that do what we do, that talk about football all the time and talk about your club. They're not allowed to do. Like, imagine some of these imagine like AFTV go hanging up an Leeds United kit behind them. Like the amount of nonsense that would happen from that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna keep talking until somebody stops me.
Right, I'm gonna stop you then.
Okay,
right?
good.
Because we're gonna have some heavy talkers here on this podcast. So, and Tony, I'm gonna have to try and find some time for Tony as well because he's gonna have more of a negative tone on this one. I think we'll have a little bit of a debate about it. But as we see here, we got some of Lolo's. What's that, Stan?
I said, do you think so, Tony?
Yeah, just a little bit.
By the way, hold on. Be a Bayern fan with me? No way. My Bundesliga team is Borussia Dortmund. Thank you very
much.
Right,
so you just told me to stop you, right, from talking too much, okay?
You have to try harder. I'm sorry. I'm used to being in charge anyway. Like, I'm trying to click the comments as well.
Yeah, I've got the flight controls there. You can just click. You're co-pilots. You just get to flick the buttons here and there. It's really for the air conditioning and stuff like that, right? And the drinks trolley and all that stuff. Mr. Tom, so as you see, Lolo's got a healthy Leeds following. So check out his podcast. Yep. You'll find out all about that. In 1994, as a 10-year-old went to Arsenal versus Leeds at a Highbury. Leeds were winning 1-0. My uncle insisted we'll leave about 10 minutes from the end to beat the two brush. Got home to find Leeds won 3-1. So, yeah.
Well, that's what you get, Mr. Tom, for leaving.
Yeah. Let's bring it full circle, as we like to say on this podcast. We like to get all of the Arsenal fan circle puns in as much as we can. Stan, what did you think about the lineup on Saturday against Burnley?
I was a little bit surprised that it kind of went with that. Was it a 4-3-3 or was it a 4-1-4-1?
Yeah. So listen, it was very confusing, as most of Mikel Arteta's lineups seem to be. I saw it as a 4. Yeah, I saw it as a 4-1-4-1. That's
kind of how I saw it as well.
4-1-4-1. You had Partey in the middle, and then you had 4 creative players behind Aubameyang up front.
I look at it this way, right? When is the last time Arsenal nicked a game by a free kick? When was the last time a player stepped up to take a free kick and you went, usually when a player steps up for a free kick, that's the time to quickly get up and put the kettle on. Because it's going over the bar. It's going over the bar. We've not really had anyone where when it gets to a set piece like that, we think, oh, we might be able to do something here. So I found that quite refreshing, because I think, isn't that the second one now that he's got in from a free kick?
Odegaard,
he done it last season with us as well, didn't he?
He did have a 25-yard shot in the Europa League, and then he had that one from open play in the North London Derby, and that's coming up next weekend. So he's getting his siders in. So but this was the free kick. And to answer your question, Stan, the last one I remember was Lacazette away to Napoli in the Europa League quarterfinal a few years ago.
There's never been. I've never felt confident with it when we get into them areas. You can't. Do you know what I mean? No, but I've got that feeling now. When we get into them situations, that we've got someone who can have a real go. You got the protagonist out there though, that will say, well, you know, if it wasn't other than the free kick, then how would we have won that game? Sometimes it does go that way. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it does go that way. And if you remember when we were speaking about this about a week ago, right, and we were looking ahead to this match, I was saying that I would take a draw if it was a hard-fought draw.
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased that we came away with 3 points at Burnley.
Yeah.
However, there still seems to be something missing. There's still something that ain't quite right at the sharp end of this team. There's still something that, and I don't know, there's 2 arguments, right? You know, there are those that will say that Aubameyang is the problem. And there's those that say it's not Aubameyang, it's the system. This system does not fit Aubameyang. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be the argument at the moment. But it's funny, isn't it? That, I mean, you only have to look across the road at Harry Kane. He's made 4 appearances this year. He's scored no goals. He's made no assists. So he's not been involved in any of their goal scoring moments. But you won't hear anything about that. You know what I mean? When we lost,
I say it.
When we lost to Chelsea, you know, the way the pundits were talking about us, but then compare that to just the weekend now. Tottenham probably got their pants pulled down, I felt, by Chelsea. Mm-hmm. And the reaction's nowhere near the same.
It's like, oh, they were missing so-and-so, and they were missing so-and-so. Yeah. When we played Chelsea, we were missing, 8 of our actual starts? 7? Even 6? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we were playing Pablo Mari and Rob Holding.
To me, coming into this season, those first 3 matches, 3 points. I was looking for 3 points. We got none because Brentford, that was always a trap game. That was their first game in a new stadium in the Premier League. First time in the top flight in 75 years. And we're missing a bunch of people who Mikel Arteta was trying to build the team around. We still shouldn't have lost, mind you. But that was always a trap game that could have happened, and it went off the rails. So, yeah, those first 3 games, you thought we were supposed to beat Man City? You thought we were supposed to beat Chelsea with Lukaku? Like, come on.
Optimistically, 4 points, definitely 3 points.
Optimistic. Yeah. And the optimism would be to get a point off of Chelsea or City.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not there this year.
As we kind of back in track into those games where everyone says, well, what do you expect? You know, that we're playing against the league champions, we're playing against the best in Europe who won the European Cup and all that. I just have to say, I get that, but I want to go down fighting. And they didn't in those games. They didn't go down fighting. They didn't go down swinging, which is the problem. Which is why I was happy, and I'm not happy. I would take a draw against Burnley if we had played, you know, if we battled. We done more than that.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, it took a moment of brilliance for Martin Odegaard for the free kick, but we were not firing up front at all. However, we came away with the 3 points. So again, green shoots, right? It's small things. It's a small thing. I mean, when was the last time we scored from a set piece like that? I know Xhaka scored one recently as well, right? If I remember rightly.
Last year he got one. Chelsea.
But not only that,
Pepe got 2 in a game. Pepe got 2 in like a
I remember
game.
In the European Cup under Emery.
Like we were supposed to, we were losing, and then like he got 1, and then here comes another one, and we're like, do it again, and he did it. But now I don't think he scored since.
But
not free kicks, but he's been scoring, right?
Period.
James Fernandez in, and we have a good mix here of the Stoop crew and the Circle crew, so that's great. James said, "No, I disagree. Kane team was getting a lot of slack after the game from pundits and journalists, and he's a little bit closer to Tottenham. He's a Tottenham supporter, and also Kane has had a poor start to the season. 4 games in, Oba was over a long period of time." I think we're talking about the media stand. The media package is slightly different.
I just think Kane's definitely trying to make himself more affordable for next summer. Do you know what I mean? Because his price,
what everybody says.
Must be going down.
25%, right?
Yeah.
Bring it down. We'll mark you down 25%. They'll come and get you, right?
Yeah. But Stan, I just want to say that I agree with you 100% with what you were just on about. To me, like, I don't. The loss to City and the loss to Chelsea don't bother me.
And Brentford.
Even to Brentford, the actual the number in the loss column does not bother me as much as the lack of fight.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And you guys can go back and look at many of my freaking videos where I don't have anybody with me, and I go, I just need to say something, which is like I did one about Aubameyang not being the captain, I'll get into that later if you want. But to me, it's like it's hard to say I don't care that we lose. I do, but I don't care if we lose if we fought our asses off. And so Mark was telling me, like, how can you be happy winning 1-0 to Norwich? And I said, because had we won 4-0 at Norwich, we would have come in like a bunch of cocky bastards to Burnley and lost. We would have learned nothing. We would have been, oh yeah, see, we are the art. No.
Yeah.
Norwich played up and they played a really good game. And it took tough defending from Ben White and Gabriel, who are still communicating, and Ramsdale. Those 3, how many? They've practiced together, what, a month? Maybe?
Yeah.
So this 1-0 actually, to me, was a better outcome than a 4-0 because it meant we had to fight. And then to Burnley, who's looking to give you a black eye and break your leg, And if they can't win the game, they're looking to take you out. Like, we had to fight.
Yeah.
Fight. And in the end, they were just as tired as we were. And so to me, 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's all it takes. That's why we have that chant, you know?
It is nice to hear that chant again. And some of our supporters don't like that it's 1-0, but there's green shoots. I think we're all agreed here now.
Who was Chelsea's top scorer last year? Who was Chelsea's top scorer?
Who was Chelsea's top scorer?
Jorginho with 7 penalties.
Right.
7.
And Ray Anderson says Willian from a free kick. We've forgotten that one, Stan, but you wanted to jump in with something, Stan.
I just wanted to answer the Assemble's question. It's asked me if I'd be happy for a draw on Saturday. And I kind of used the wrong phrase there. It wasn't that I'd be happy with the draw against Burnley. I said I would take it. I'd accept it. I would see it as an improvement if we went to Burnley and got a draw and the team had worked hard.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I said. I would see that as improvement. So then to come away with the 3 points, I was actually quite chuffed about that. So to answer the other side of his question about would I be happy with a draw at Tottenham? Of course not. I'm never happy with a draw against Tottenham. But I think it's important that our next game, and even if you want to count Wimbledon into that, is that we need to put a run together of being unbeaten. So if that means that we pick up some draws along the way, and we're working hard, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it.
It's
a building block, right? It's a building block.
And in all honesty, as much as I hate saying it and it makes me throw up a little bit in my mouth, but I'll swallow it. Tottenham right now, I feel, are a bit more cohesive and put together than we are. So, like, they started off the season in first 3 matches, top of the league, and we were bottom of the league for a reason. It's not weird. I mean, it is weird that Tottenham's up there, but so I think they're going to come at us. And I said today that I kind of feel like a 0-0 draw is what we're going to be looking at on Saturday. I don't like it, but that would also mean that our defense has kept 3 clean sheets in a row and kept Son and Kane and Dele Alli out of the back of the net.
Yeah.
That's not nothing. Let's look at where we are.
And I actually said on our pregame podcast, I put this to Gary, Stan, that we may score less goals this season and actually gain more points because we're going to have to survive on being efficient, maybe surviving on 1 goal here, 1 or 2 goals here and there.
It's so hard to accept that when we're a captain who, he's earning so much money at the club and his job, he's got all these things in his contract about goal bonuses, and it's all about goals for what he does. Mm-hmm. And what you just said is so hard to take when, this is the guy that we should be looking towards getting 20 goals. And when I say that, I'm not picking him out as being at fault. What I'm saying is that if you're the manager right now, you shouldn't be able to be out. You shouldn't be able to get to sleep at night. You should be lying there thinking, what is it that we need to do to get the best out of this guy? Mm-hmm. And if you think that you're doing everything that you can, that you've done everything, then you've got to be looking at making a change, right? So that's the question. Is Mikel Arteta doing everything he can? Because right now, Aubameyang is a guy that's, as I say, he's supposed to be getting us at least 20 goals, man. That's what you're looking at.
No, you're right.
You really be wanting to get that 25 mark in the league. That's what, that's the sort of money we're paying him. He's supposed to be in that category. A bit better.
We're missing
better than 20, right? But
we're missing those 10 extra goals that he usually gets per season. He only weighed in with 10 in the league last season. Reddy said, "Who wants to bet against Kane scoring his first Premier League goal this season?" Hopefully we can stand firm and stout against Mr. Tom 28. Performance levels only matter when you lose. We're analyzing a window, and we're going to nitpick a little bit the performance. But I do get what you're saying, Mr. Tom, as well. We've never scored more than 1 away goal at Burnley. So, Lolo, emphasize how difficult the fixture that was away to Burnley, especially in recent times. We as Arsenal fans forget other teams now have a lot of money to invest in their clubs. They're improving, and we're trying to reclaim the ground that we've lost over the last few seasons.
Yeah. So I think we were talking about this on Friday, but somebody was like, how can Burnley be a perennial
thorn in
relegation threat, and Sean Dyche gets a new contract? Meanwhile, Mikel Arteta has gotten 7th, and he's been on the hot seat since the moment he took the job. And to me, the big difference between our club and theirs is Burnley has an identity, and that identity is so much linked to Sean Dyche.
Mm-hmm.
We have no identity right now. We went, and it's kind of the problem with having a manager for 20 years, 22 years, is your identity becomes that guy. And now what are we going to do? It's like being married for 20 years, and then you're like, oh, I'm single. What do I do? So that, and this is why I've said Mikel Arteta is only on the hot seat in the media. There's some backroom deal going on with him and the ownership or whoever's in charge that they know he's going to be here for at least 2 years or something like that, because the moves that he's making are not of a manager that's on the hot seat, and that's why he continues to be on the hot seat. So I keep going back to, you don't give a 19, 20-year-old the Arsenal number 10 shirt unless you have plans for that. You don't sign 20-year-olds and 19-year-olds and 22-year-olds across the board and get rid of. So there's this, he's working towards creating an identity. The problem with all of us Arsenal fans watching is going, what is it? You have no identity. You have no plan. What is the process? But hopefully we're starting to finally see a little bit of that. So coming into this match, Burnley's always a dangerous match because they're so physical. And right away, when I saw corner after corner, how many corners in the first half did we give Burnley? And I was like, no, that's the one thing you don't do against Burnley. Don't let the ball go out over the touchline.
Yeah.
And we were surviving them and surviving them and surviving them. So to me, the lack of heart and the lack of fight that I saw last season and in the first 3 matches is slowly starting to turn around.
Yeah, I've been
starting to change just a little bit.
I've been saying to the lads here, and Gary won't hear it, but September 11th, when we played Norwich, was when the season started for us, Stan. Unfortunately, because we had a poor. Stan, you were not basically worried about preseason. Are you able to put it in context now how preseason went for us, and now we're 5 games into the season? You know, how can you evaluate preseason we had? Was it a good one? Was it a bad one?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Preseason was terrible, right? I mean, Aubameyang didn't score any goals. In pre-season, you know, he should be scoring a few goals here and there, right? There's just so much space. There's time on the ball. It was worrying. And it bled into the beginning of the season. It was almost like...
At the time, Stan, we didn't worry about it too much, naturally, because we didn't see the context, right?
What do you mean we didn't worry about it? I was worried.
Well, I think we had said that we've had bad pre-seasons in the past, but, you know, played well in the actual...
No, I was the other way. I was like, you know, I was actually saying that. I can remember us having really good pre-seasons. and seeing pre-season as an Eddie and Nketiah scoring a couple of goals in the game and stuff like that, and then we start the pre-season and we're absolutely toilet. So I did say that it's hard to take anything away from the pre-season games, but I was shocked at our forward play, our lack of it in pre-season, and it seems to be it's trickled right over. And not only Aubameyang, but if you look at then some of the negatives for me in that Burnley game, it was all at the end of the field. First touches weren't very good. They were kind of heavy, taking a shot and there's not enough strength on the ball. It's a very timid shot. I'm talking about Emil Smith-Rowe. Pepe, he so frustrates me. And I keep thinking to myself, okay, I've got to put up with Pepe because in 90 minutes, he might have 95 minutes of madness, but he's going to do something and that will usually lead to a goal. So that when it doesn't happen, you're like, well, it's his third season now. And I'm sort of not seeing anything consistent from Pepe. And we can't talk about Pepe like he's one of the young lads because he's one of the senior players in the squad. He's almost 27, right?
Yeah.
He should be coming into his peak of his performance is what they say, right? They say that, 28, you're really coming into it in those positions. So I'm actually a little bit worried about the output that we're getting from Saka, ESR, and Pepe.
Yeah.
And I want to put Martinelli into that, but Martinelli's more about the lack of appearances.
Who?
Martinelli. Yeah, we've not exactly. You've seen him on milk carton. You look on a milk carton, you might see his picture. Have you seen this kid? But I mean,
a kid from the 4th division of Brazil. Hasn't done anything for us.
Have you guys ever seen that Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence film called Life, where they're in prison? It's like from the 90s or the 80s, but there was a guy. They all had like nicknames in prison, and there was a guy called Can't Get Right. They're like, that's Can't Get Right. He just can't get right. That's Pepe to me. It's like he's got everything.
He's got it.
What's the problem with him? He just can't get right.
I always liken him to C-3PO from The Empire Strikes Back when he got blown up and he got reconnected, but nothing really worked when he got reconnected. Lolo, are you doing the second half of this podcast? Love from your
live
motorbike. Absolutely,
Friday, I was on a gig and they started the show without me, so I was trying to get home. So I was on like a Vespa, and I called into the show, and so it's like the whole time I'm like, well, the thing about the Arsenal match was
driving around.
Yeah,
nice.
So they're all giving me shit for doing that. I don't know. I can't tell if they enjoyed it. Yeah, the Lolo mobile. I can't tell if they loved it or they're just making fun of me because I look
who would hate a high-speed chase through New York, right through the streets of Brooklyn?
Yep.
Who would hate that? Stan, we're talking about just missing the final ball. We had a lot of that on Saturday in the Burnley game. Couple of opportunities. We just
as well. I mean, there was a couple. It's first touches as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love some of these kids. Some of them, all of them. I love our kids, right? But I said when we were talking, I think maybe near the beginning of the season, I said I was looking at our squad and I was saying the one thing that worries me going forward is players like Saka, ESR, and maybe Martinelli as well. They may get too much game time, and at some point maybe burn out, get a little bit jaded, or even maybe injured because of fatigue. If it's the former where they're jaded and they're looking out of form, it worries me because we ain't got no one else to really come in for them. We are relying on them. We've got to play them through that. And I'm not so sure that at their stage in their career, that's how they should be used. As much as I love them, and it worries me now that when they do have bad patches of form or look jaded or and look heavy on the first touch, here we are now, like today on the podcast, we're discussing it, right? But we've got to discuss it because it's part of the forum. But I wish they could somehow be a little bit more shielded. But if you look at where we're so threadbare, it's so difficult to rotate at the moment. It's so difficult. All right, T, what's happening?
Not much.
What up, man?
All right, Tony.
It's so difficult to we're a little bit more lucky with ESR because we can slip Odegaard in. Saka's a little bit vital, right? Do you know what I mean? In there, and a lot of the players that were at the Euros have looked a bit jaded. So, I mean, ESR wasn't there though. So it worries me about the burden that we're going to be putting on them as the season continues. Even though we've only got no Europe. Then again, we've got no European competition. You're playing week to week. I don't know, man.
Dan, can I ask you a question up there?
Yeah, man.
I guess to everybody and all the Arsenal fans. I'm not used to having so many Arsenal fans around. But yeah, there you go.
I'm a pro.
We're doing the Brady Bunch. But listen, I feel like now Saka, I love him to death. I think he is the future. He is a lot of what the future of Arsenal will be. With him missing the penalty and everything that happened in the Euros, do we have kid gloves on? You know the term kid gloves? We have, like, to me,
rose tinted glasses?
It's not that he hasn't been.
You wear those all the time, Ray.
I do.
It's not like, oh, he just didn't have a great game. There's been times where he's just been completely off, but I feel like you can't say, like, you can't bitch about Saka because it's like, oh, don't forget, he's a national hero. And I'm like, okay, but that's done. He's a fucking Arsenal player now. And his first touch was not great. And his second touch was not great. Not that he was the only one. But the question is, should we, like, when is the time for Arteta to be like, yo, this isn't your game. Come out. Martinelli, get in.
Mm-hmm.
Is this still so not just the exhaustion from the Euros, but a little bit of like, oh, we can't say anything bad. When I'm like, there's times where, what the fuck is wrong? What? That was a terrible touch, and that was a terrible pass.
As Dan said, there are kids, and you can be equally disappointed and equally delighted by your kids. But you let them know when they do right, and you let them know when they do wrong.
Yeah, you can send Saliba to France 3 years in a row. You can tell fucking Willian
He's
to
a big
fuck
kid.
off.
He's an exile.
You can tell Lacazette, a grown ass man, that you're not going to play.
Well, Lacazette's going to play on Wednesday.
He was like Napoleon, man. He's in exile on that island.
He's in exile, dominating the world.
Writing his memoirs in that island.
Really, Sam is probably sleeping in Norway right now. It's going to be bright in about 2 hours, so he's probably trying to sleep. I think Gary might be trying to join us in a little bit. Let's bring
in those two positions, right? If you look at what we're talking about, the fatigue and stuff like that, primarily we've got Saka playing as a winger, left or right. Maybe left is the one that he favours. In the middle of VSR, he's playing in that central role. All you've got to do, right, you want two players for every position, ideally, competing.
Yeah.
So we've got, in that central role, ESR and Odegaard, right? Obviously, there are games where you might bring ESR off the bench and put him on a flank. It could happen, right? But they're predominantly, they're sharing that role. On the left-hand side, it should be Martinelli and Saka. So there shouldn't be a problem with fatigue if you rotate it rightly. If Saka's looking a little bit off, why can't Martinelli come in and start a game? Or come off the bench and say, okay, you work it. You have those two players and saying, okay, I've got to keep up to my best because that's the guy I want to keep out for the starting position. And it's healthy. It's healthy to have that.
And I would think we're going to see some of these players. Okay,
but it's early days. It's only 4 or 5 games. I mean,
AFC Wimbledon, but the North London derby's coming up.
But you play a team like Burnley, who's beating the shit out of you the whole game. Not score wise, but physically beating the shit out of you the whole game. Saka's not big. He's not a huge guy. He was getting manhandled.
Yeah,
he was getting pushed around. And at a certain point, I was like, even if it's not about performance, which I thought his performance was not good enough, his touches were bad when he did have it. Why not switch him off for fresh legs at least, or an angry Brazilian? Like, try a different continent.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not working with these big ass English dudes. Send a little South American fella in there. Well, and first of all, Euro fatigue. Meanwhile, Richarlison was playing every single match of the Olympics, which were later, and then was killing it. Now, that being said, he is injured now, so
I'm not buying that anymore. No more than you should buy
You're a football player.
The grass, the grass was too long, or the pitch was too dry. These are excuses.
I'm just trying to be kind, right? I'm just trying to cover all my bases, but I get you. I get you, man.
I'm not. I'm trying to just anger as many people as possible.
Well, we're starting to anger Tony. We'll bring Tony in now, and Tony has.
No, he's enjoying it. Tony, that I'm not giving them. I'm not going. Oh, we won.
Tony had a couple of rain
I'm mad.
Tonight.
All right, Tony.
Tony's just pissed off that Lacazette didn't come on. That's all. That's it, isn't it? Come on. Let's wait. Let's hear it.
I gotta say,
Chambers wasn't on the team sheet. I'm double pissed, Stan.
So, Tony, your assessment of Saturday's game?
To me, it wasn't good enough. It was one moment of brilliance by Odegaard. Other than that, we didn't create. I like the formation better, but we weren't creating at all. We never threatened their goalie at all, except for one time the ball goes in the net on a great free kick. To me, it's just one moment of brilliance. We're not good enough. It's kicking down the can down the road on firing Arteta. He needs to go now. We're still not good enough. I'll probably put a full strength team out Wednesday against a little pub team. He won't do what Wenger always did and put all under 23s and a few reserves, but we won't.
Let me know when you're done.
I'm done for now.
So, Tony, if Chelsea had rocked up and had a decent defensive performance and been efficient and won the game with a great technical free kick, would you feel the same way about their performance? Chelsea, 2 goals.
Chelsea, yeah, I'd still feel the same way if they played the same way.
I think it was a very, very decent performance. We've gone to Burnley before. We've been bullied. We were bullied a little bit.
We won 10 in a row, Ray. Then Arteta's came in and won 1 of 4.
Yeah, and
it's only difficult because Arteta sucks at it.
We've won another game, Tony. We won another game at Burnley. It was a difficult game, and we were so close.
10 times in a row, Ray.
If a couple of those, there was situations, Tony, if a couple of those passes were played a little bit harder, a little bit better into feet and controlled better by Saka, the end of the first half, Emile Smith-Rowe, the end of the first half, and Emile Smith-Rowe at the beginning of the second half.
And it's kind of like that clip I sent in the group chat of all the missed opportunities on through balls. Hit the fucking white button and get the ball out in the middle, and it's a free fucking goal.
All right, so
does nobody know how to use the triangle button?
Yep.
Triangle. Don't use X.
Why for us Xbox users?
Through pass.
All right, so I'm going to turn it over to the right wing. Right wing. Does the right backer or the right winger want to take this? The winger. Go ahead.
Tony.
Did you point the stand or did you want this?
Am I right back? Okay, I didn't realize.
Well, you're the winger. You're top right.
Okay, that's better.
You ever right?
Kieran Tierney here. Kieran Tierney.
No, you're Scotland here.
Listen, Tony. The problem here is you're talking about 2 different matches. You're talking about the forward match and you're talking about the defensive match.
That's pretty good.
Yes, going forward we were shy or shy going forward. But in the back, we're very good because these guys are big fellas. They're big fellas. Seriously.
It's because we had Gabrielle back there.
I didn't know Tierney was Irish.
So
yeah, I know. It's a little bit of a Celtic feel.
I was a bit
Irish,
Scottish here. If you want me to go Irish, I'll talk there with you. A little bit more in the front there. Anyway.
Ray forgot his Irish accent.
No, Tony.
I lost it.
I agree with you that the forward play was terrible. One moment of brilliance. But if you saw that match and you saw one good play, which was a free kick from Martin Odegaard, you were not watching because Ramsdale had a match. First of all, the VAR.
Wait till we get to the Don Juan man of the match part that I do.
But
hardly wait.
But listen, let me ask you a question. When we send a cross into the box, what is the point? Like, who's on the end of it?
Nobody.
Exactly. What does Burnley do? They score all of their goals off of crosses into the box. So the fact that they had somebody in the crowd give us the number, like how many corners did they actually have? 5, 6, 7, and they got nothing from them, to the point where towards the end of the match, they were going short on their corners. We made Burnley go short on their corners when they have a bunch of fucking mountain men and we've got a bunch of shorties. Like, we've got Gabriel and now we've got Tomiyasu, who's got a bit of a height. But beyond that, we know we don't send crosses into the box because there's nobody there. And if they are, they can't head the ball for shit. So the fact that we kept them from scoring when they had so many set pieces, I mean, I love attacking football and I love the offensive side. And yes, I'm American. I like seeing goals. But that to me was
they had 8 corner kicks.
8.
And they didn't score off of any
giants.
And we had 3.
With those giants. And our corner kicks, we could give a shit because our set pieces is like, oh.
Dwight McNeil sent in about 4 million crosses. Go ahead.
Towards the end, even the commentators were like, they're going short. That's odd. Burnley never goes short because they needed to come up with something else. Because something was working. And that's what I think all week long, Arteta was like, we'll get a goal from somewhere. Let's not, we got Aubameyang, where we've got creative people up there. We'll get a goal from somewhere. But what we need to focus on is cutting them off here, not letting them score. And that plan worked.
Yeah.
So, yes, I have a shit ton to complain about the performance of the attacking. But defending, I have 2, which is the back pass from Ben White and the one little, Ramsdale getting creative in the beginning of the game because he's like, Southgate's watching. And then he goes, oh, shit, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And he tightened up the rest of the match.
Yeah.
So agree with you, Tony, but also disagree with you.
You see, I think that, when you get a set piece or a free kick that's just outside the box, that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to score. And usually, something I said. Usually,
sorry. I just wanted to step away to the bathroom. I just need to pee.
All right. Go ahead, Sam.
So usually,
an opportunity to score.
We would have had a game just like that. Very little happening up front. And when that opportunity comes, that ball usually just goes wide, right over the ball or straight into the wall. But now we're able to, it's improvement. If we've got someone in the team that can make the most of those opportunities, if they come up, then I'll take it.
And Stan, that was a wonderful piece of counter-attacking play from Saka, who found it difficult to get into the game, but
if that's Man United, right? If that's Man United and that's how the game goes, and Cristiano Ronaldo steps up and takes that penalty, that's all you've been hearing about.
Yeah,
that's all you'd be hearing about.
Sorry, let me tell you, Stan, great opportunity from Saka to play Aubameyang in. He gets taken down by Westwood. It's the Burnley way. They can smell danger. They give away a free kick, and to them that's low percentage against Arsenal especially. But when I'm looking at Aubameyang, Partey and Odegaard standing over that ball, I said to myself, Stan, I want Erdegaard to take this.
Oh yeah, I sat there and I saw the people mooching about. I knew point blank that who was taking it. And you see the way they do it. They have one standing to the side, and he does like the little skip as if he's going to run and take it.
Yeah.
And then
I
saw them do that a couple of times, right? Like they got Partey doing the skipping, or I think it was Ainsley Maitland-Niles. But when I saw what was happening there, usually as I say, I'm like, oh, free kick. Hurry up, let's get back to the game, right? Let's get back to the
yeah.
All from the stand, just get back in play. But now, I was actually like, oh, Odegaard, man, he's got a foot in him. There's a chance here. There is a chance here. I'm believing that. Oh, there's a chance here, and there you go. And I think that you will see more of those come up over the season and maybe next season. When those opportunities come up, you're going to see more running back in the net or coming very, very close.
And Stan, we're not a team that sort of is used to us scoring from free kicks, because we asked the question earlier in the podcast. We're trying to track our memories here. Willian scored last season. Granit Xhaka. I remember Pepe and
Gabriel twice
from a free kick, a direct free kick.
Oh, I thought you were talking about headers.
No, free kicks. But yeah, listen, if that's another string to our bow or another part of our arsenal stand that we can add to, it's going to make teams respect us a little bit more, not take us down and foul us outside the box.
And all we need now, we just need someone in our defence to head goals in from corners.
Yeah,
that's the next thing
now. So I just got moved from right back to left back.
That's right.
Yes. Now you can. Well, you don't. We did the Tierney already, so it's okay. You can do Cedric Suarez next.
Well, no. Speaking of right back to left back and all that, like, I love me some Nuno Tavares. I don't know about you guys. Every time he comes on the pitch, it's like he wants it. Towards the end of the game where he made that huge run all the way down, and then I think he just got tired or something and just shot.
That is
the innocence. To hit the Y button.
That's the innocence of youth. That is the youth that we're seeing in the team now. They don't have that experience to take it into the corner, Lolo.
Yeah. And I was like, but what if he made it? It would have been good. And then all of a sudden, Burnley are back. I was like, oh my God, here we go. He's never going to play again. He's going to be sent to France.
It's not that he did that for me, because I want a player. I'd want him to do that again. To make next time it goes in. However, it's the time of the match and the scoreline.
Exactly.
That's not the time to do
game
it.
management.
Put it into the corner, like you say, Ray. Let's get the clock down, right?
Wind it down.
But I'd rather him do that than we've seen it too many times. Arsenal players in the penalty box looking for a pass rather than taking a shot.
Yeah.
And look, we've seen it from Lukonga as well, or Sambi, as Tony wants me to call him, taking pot shots.
That's what he wants to be called, Ray. He said it.
It's short.
Video of him you can go listen to. He wants to be called Zombie.
Okay, I should call him the way he wants to be called, right, Stan?
Or call him now.
It's easier to say Sambi than Lukonga.
Yeah,
exactly, Sambi. Didn't Wenger say, if you overplay the youngsters, that will develop bad injuries later in their careers?
And then Mr. Tom.
Wenger also said to do a World Cup every 2 years, so I'm not sure what stock and what that old man.
The World Cup at the end of every season.
I was just going to say, it's funny. I was like, these people are slagging me in the comments. They're the Stoop crew members.
I like the way you're picking up some Irish slang there. Slagging.
Oh, yeah. From like, you're lucky I say, I'm going to hit the jacks.
Right. Yeah, I hit the jacks.
Then I'm also the scratcher.
Tony, we gotta talk about the back four and Aaron Ramsdale. So we'll do that. I thought Tomiyasu was immense, brilliant. I counted the number of blocks he put in, and anytime you can stop a cross coming in from Burnley is a good thing. That's a good thing. I think
Tony,
he intercepted the ball
about three. Tony,
he's probably pulling up some stats right now. He's the stats man, Lolo.
I was looking for the tweet I sent you guys.
So yeah, Tomiyasu, I think he settled in really well. And to go to Turf Moor, I'll just let one of you other two in before Tony So Lolo, for Tomiyasu to go to Burnley and deal with that physicality was a real string to his bow.
This dude.
Second game.
This dude. He, we've been saying for a while, or at least for a year, we need some more Tierneys on the team, passion-wise, excitement-wise. And I think that's a big reason why I like Nuno Tavares. And my whole point there was with switching from right back to left back was like, God, I wish Nuno Tavares played on the other side, because then he could play with Tierney. But we just got this guy, Tomiyasu, and he's big. He's aggressive. He had some twinkle toes up at the touchline where we're like, that ball's going out of bounds. And then like he flipped. I think he nutmegged the defender and then got to it before it went out and actually got a cross in. I think all the attackers were like, oh, the play's done. Oh shit, here comes a cross. Things like that are exciting to me. So I feel like I'm super impressed with him. For his size, he's very fast. For his size, he's not like, I wouldn't say he's even Bellerin fast, but as big as he is, he's worth more than Bellerin's speed. He can clearly defend, but he likes to attack. And I think the thing that makes me like Tomiyasu the most is that Spurs went for him and didn't get him. And now we're going to get him and fuck him.
Rudy misses those days when Wenger and Henry used to smash leads for fun. Stan, your thoughts on the back five in general?
I'm a little bit the other way on Lolo. I'm actually glad that we don't have a Kieran Tierney on the right-hand side, because I don't think Mikel Arteta wants that either. It's a little bit like if you go back to the Wenger days when we used to play with two out-and-out wingers, and you looked at how they played, you'd have maybe Ray Parlour on the right-hand side, Perez on the left. Very different. You got Kieran Tierney on the left-hand side, who makes a lot of overlapping runs on the outside, and we need to have a little bit more security at the back. And if you look at the way that Hector Bellerin likes to play, I think that Tomiyasu for me is what I would call an upgrade on Bellerin. The way that they approach the game is quite similar, make a lot of inverted runs. I just think that Tomiyasu is better at doing it.
Yeah.
And better defensively, I think, as well, Stan.
Yeah. And the only thing I've not seen is crossing yet. I've not seen what he's like crossing the ball. If he's done it, I was looking away from the TV. But
there's no one to cross to.
Yeah. I think that if we had a carbon copy of Tierney on the right-hand side, it would really leave us overexposed. Because I think you'll notice that. And I think that the fact that Tomiyasu has also had a lot of experience playing at centre-back, when we go to that way that we play at the back, which is kind of like a 2-3-5 at times, Tomiyasu is going to be one of the two.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Tierney will be up there as one of the five on that left hand on the edge. That's how I think it's going to go. I like the shape of what we're doing at the back. The only player that I haven't really kind of like formed an opinion on too much is Ben White. And over the last couple of days, maybe it's just my timeline, but on Twitter, it seems that a lot of Arsenal fans are not impressed with Ben White and think that we've really overpaid and that Saliba should be brought out of exile. And I'm just wondering whether it's a case of a little bit of, if it's going to be like a carbon copy of John Stones at Manchester City. A young lad is brought in for a lot of money. The expectation is put on there pretty fast. But the club knows that there's a bit of development to come. They're not paying that money because they think he's the finished article. They see what they can nurture out of him. And if you look at John Stones now, there were times when I looked at John Stones many years ago and thought, fucking hell, they paid a lot of money for that guy. But if you look at John Stones now, arguably, he's one of the best central defenders in the league.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So I'm just wondering whether Ben White again. He's passed back to Ramsdale. Ramsdale fucking got Ben White out of jail.
Yeah,
because that pass back to the keeper was weak, man. It was.
And you heard Ben White after the match say, "Totally my fault. The pitch was dry or wet, I forget. But I should have known better, and I did it wrong. He saved my ass." So he said that.
And
I wanted to make sure to
glad he admitted. Glad he brought it. You know.
Yeah, he did. But if you scroll in the comments all the way up to the top, or close to the top.
Do that?
I mean, I can't. Oh, can I? Yeah.
Which one?
Okay.
Which one?
I think it was Mr. Tom said, yeah, Ben White is going to turn out to be 50 million well spent. And then somebody else even said, something about that. Ben White's no, blah, blah.
So Mr. Tom was one of your Leeds boys, right? So
Mr. Tom also did this. So I remember 99. I remember 03.
Ben White close up.
So the thing about Ben White, to me, why Ben White, and I've had to argue why he would be worth £50 million since he was signed, like a lot of you may have had to. But for me, is you're not spending £50 million on a finished product. You're spending £50 million on exactly what you were saying, could very well become in 2, 3, 4, 5 years the best defender in England and the captain of the England national team once Harry Maguire's gone.
Listen,
right, Gary.
Great. Let me bring Gary in, and I've got a. I got that conspiracy theory then, Stan, that I was talking to you about. But Gary, jump in.
You're talking about
just pick up the thread of conversation seamlessly as if you've been
Ben White. You know, no, I still feel like he. I mean, I feel like I think we all do. It's a lot of money to spend when you're in a situation that we're at. Right? He may come true. It's same thing with Arteta. He may come true and he may get us where we want to be, but it's gonna be a hard battle to get there. He's not gonna have all the support he needs, and we've seen that. That's a lot of money to spend. He's got to perform right now. That little mistake that he made, that's a blip we can't see ever again. He needs to figure out how the pitch. Him? Yeah, no.
Who replaces him for that mistake, though? What I'm saying, Arteta doesn't have any choices.
That's another problem. That's another problem, right?
Thing. We're gonna put Rob Holding in there.
Oh my God!
No.
Well, that's the problem. This is supposed to be the Arsenal, right? We keep saying this is supposed to be the Arsenal. They are supposed to have somebody sit on the bench that's got some fire and some hunger that will take that spot from you if you make a mistake, right? Right now, we don't. We don't have it. The only way we have it right now is with a goalkeeper, and we know that's going to change, like either in January or definitely in the summer, right? We never have two of anything right now. We could, but we're like, you know what? We have Erdegar and we have Emil Smith-Rowe. But guess what? We can play Emil Smith-Rowe out on the left. So then that isn't there. You know, that kind of like the guy sitting behind me who's ready to take my spot isn't there anymore because he gets to play too, right? Why? If this is a big team, he would be sitting. One of them would be fighting for that spot. Yeah. The other one would be right behind him, ready to go as soon as he makes that big mistake, right?
Guess what, Gary? He's going to be punished on Wednesday because Rob Holding's coming in to take his place on Wednesday, okay? There you go.
Ray, Ray, you okay?
AFC Wimbledon to 1 goal and 1 goal only.
Yeah, we're going to win 1-0.
If we win 1-0, then that's disappointing.
I know.
This is, you know what, we were talking about this on the show earlier. It's like, for me, I'm like, Arteta can win his next 10 matches and still get fired, and I'll be happy. I'll be okay with it. Because if those 10 matches look exactly like what we've seen the last 2, then there's no progress. If we're just getting lucky, luck will always fail at the worst possible moment for us. And you've seen the same change happen right with Chelsea. Oh. They were still getting wins. They were still doing okay, but they realized, you know what? If we want to get certain places, if we want to battle for championships, we're not going to be able to do it with what we've got right now. And they made that move. They made a big move, right?
But Gary, yes, under Fat Frank, they were being terrible. But when Tuchel came in, he righted the ship And I think the first match was like 0-0 and then 0-0 and then 1-0 and then 1-0. It wasn't a huge change. So how can you say there's been no progress from the first 3 matches to these? And I'm not just talking about results, as Stan and I were saying earlier. It's cohesiveness seems to be a little bit better. And I totally understand that both of those matches that we just won could have been draws or losses with just a simple one play here, one play there. So I'm not saying we were fantastic, but what I have seen is, okay, there's a little bit of cohesiveness coming together. Okay, Ben White and Gabriel are starting to get a language together and actually get a language with Ramsdale. He's clearly sticking with Ramsdale. They're starting to get a little bit of a dialogue. That back pass from Ben White may prove, it's like when my daughter fell out of her bunk bed. I'm like, this may end up being the best thing ever because we were here for it and she will never fall out again. Right?
Yeah. No, it's experiences. It's experiences.
Those are things that are going to happen.
Gary, I'm already hot. So
no. I just feel. No. We're talking about these first 5 games, right? We're talking about these first 5 games, but we also have to remember the 18 months as well. So we want to see us be better than when we were. Right now, I don't think we're any better than we were the first part of the season after the first 5 matches. Because even when I remember going back, I think looking at those games in the beginning of the last season, that West Ham game was the light bulb. It was like, oh crap! Yeah. If we don't do something quick, this is going to come back to burn us, and it did. Because that game was like the light bulb should have went on. Guess what? We are lucky to get those 3 points. This team came at us. We had no answers. We didn't have any answers for 2 months. For 2 months, we didn't have any answers. And then we start out this season. He gets his preseason that he says he wanted. And still, I know and I understand, we're missing players to start the season. But guess what? That's going to happen. He has to be able to adjust to that and figure out a way with whatever he's got to make it work, right? He knew it was going to be Brentford's first match in a top flight. He knew that going in before any of the injuries happened or the COVID and all that.
He knew that.
He knew it on June 16th when the fixtures came out. June 16th.
So he's known for a long time how this match was going to play out, and he knew that he could not give them any rope. Nope, no rope, nothing. You get nothing. And that means all right. So if you're going to miss Aubameyang and Lacazette, guess what? You got to play something totally different, right?
Gary.
What am I saying?
You're talking. Man, look, Arteta's the tactician, right? He's the problem. His biggest problem is that he tries to win the game before the game has been played.
Yeah.
He comes up with something in his bedroom and he makes a little, I'm going to do this and this and this. And he does it. And then it's like 79th minute. And he's like, this may not be working. It's too fucking late.
You can literally see it in real time when he's talking to himself on the sideline.
Like, this might not be working.
I'm waiting for him to come into training one day, right? I'm waiting for him to come into training one day and say, right, for the next game, you're doing something a bit different. We're not playing Aubameyang through the middle. We're playing this robot I made in my bedroom last night.
Yeah, because I was up all night.
Trust me, this robot is going to...
But Gary, the point is this. Last season, what did we do? Newly promoted Fulham.
This is
3-0. 3-0. Boom! Yep. Arsenal, first place, Friday night, getting drunk.
Yep.
And we did shit. So is Arteta ever the tactician? There is no chance in hell we win this game. We are not going to win this game.
Yeah.
We have to lose this game by 3.
Right. So, Gary, I'm going to come to stand then. I'm going to come to stand then because I have another take. But, Gary, I got a quick question. You mentioned something about luck. Was it a lucky win on Saturday? Was it a lucky win on Saturday? Gary?
If the way that Burnley plays, I'm surprised. Like, yeah, it's lucky win. Like, none of them jumped. None of them jumped on that free kick. None of them. They basically
none of them jumped. Those giants.
None of them jumped.
They're like, we're tall enough.
They didn't jump, Gary, because they didn't see it.
It's with dry grass.
It happened so quickly. They were like, "What? About balls in the back of the net? Done."
No, that was. I mean, we're lucky they didn't jump, but
Come on, Gary. We won a game.
Give us something, Gary. Give us something.
No, I'm not giving you anything.
Stop being negative, Gary.
I'm not giving you anything because guess what's going to happen the next time we play a team that we're supposed to win, and they do jump. All right. And
every team drops a game, Gary. Come on.
You don't think that was a good free kick, whether they jumped or not? That's
no. It was a good free kick, but I mean, did you see how high that thing was? It was like it was 2 feet below the crossbar. That never.
Hold on, right? Them not jumping. That's down to them and their training. From our side of it, right? He got the ball over the wall, beyond the keeper, and into the net. He did his part. He can't control them jumping or not. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's down to them.
This high over their head anyway. Like even if they jumped, they may not have got it. It was
an expertly taken free kick. It was quality.
If you can do that every time, do it. Let the keeper save it.
It was a peach.
It was.
No, I mean the thing about it when we scored against Norwich, like how much luck played into that? Nothing. You think that was all
different story.
What do you mean? It's the same thing. It comes off the post twice, and you get
offside, not offside. Oh my dick!
All right. So listen, Gary thinks that we were kind of lucky on Saturday. Is that fair, Gary?
Yeah.
Very.
All right. I think we played well, and this is the beauty of a podcast. We're going to have 5 different opinions. Beauty of a podcast. Let's move on.
We're not. Had too many.
I think we were lucky. I think we were lucky to get a free kick and we put it away. So that's no problem.
Yeah.
I would say we were lucky. Their keeper had a mistake and we pounced on it, and we were lucky that Burnley's a bunch of fucking bastards that fly into tackles, and we got a free kick outside of the box, and we were lucky that we decided to sign Odegaard, as I call him.
Which I did I looked up the translation of Odegaard. It means deserted farm. So
it means what?
That was turf moor.
It means what?
Don't tell people that.
Deserted farm.
Deserted farm.
A deserted farm.
Yeah, farm.
Yeah, that's what Real Madrid's press team is telling everybody. We got rid of the deserted farm.
Listen, I checked.
Okay.
I checked the weather for you for Wednesday night earlier in the podcast, and now I've given you a tidbit of Odegaard's translation.
Did you pass that past Sam?
Deserted farm. So make that.
Did Sam agree? Did Van Origin agree with you?
I didn't. Sam's sleeping right now.
Wake
He's
him up.
Killed all of the seagulls out there. Okay, Stan. Let's rewind to the VAR decision because Riddy is still with us. The Assemble's still with us. And I told you I had a
Where's Mark? I need to text Mark.
Conspiracy theory, Stan.
Yeah.
Here's my conspiracy theory. If this had been Bernd Leno in goal, it would have been given as a penalty because Aaron Ramsdale is an England player and he remonstrated with the referee. The decision got overturned.
It doesn't matter. It's a fucking penalty.
He went and looked at the screen, and everybody saw it. And for me, it's not even a 50-50. That's not a penalty because I saw that video of Sean Dyche, and it was like, well, I'm not going to do the impression.
He still made contact with him in a box,
but he if he got the ball and then made contact with the player. So basically what you're saying is that we should change the game and just not have tackles anymore. We only get the ball when a player mispasses.
When the keeper gets the ball, they can make whatever fucking contact they want. We've seen that.
Yeah.
We've seen that. If you get the ball and you hit them, it's their fault, not yours.
And you can't say it's the English goalkeeper because supposedly if you listen to Sean Dyche last season, Pope had the same thing happen to him, but he got called for the penalty. Yeah. So it can't be that because
I'm just saying if it was Bernd Leno, that decision might have been different. That's all I'm saying. you know. And that's not going to be able to prove it.
I thought it was good that Ramsdale was switched on, alert to what was going on, and he actually, he saved the blushes of Ben White.
Yeah.
And there is a chance that if he did get a touch, but less than a touch than he got, that they would have kept it, even though he got the touch. If he barely got a touch, if he barely got a touch and clawed the dude, they're gonna keep the on-field decision. And I don't disagree with the on-field decision, because from where the ref was coming, the way it happened, it was so close. It did look like a penalty. I was glad they called it, and I was glad they overturned it as an Arsenal fan, but also as a football fan looking at it. Because you got to remember, I got to listen to all the fuckers on my show that hate Arsenal that want to tell me how VAR.
And apparently, Lolo, they're telling me that we're being too nice to you tonight. We're being very respectful, and we should turn it up a little bit on you.
You are.
I do think that without VAR, maybe it would have been awarded as a penalty, because from a certain angle, it did look like it was more heavy. So I'm actually thankful that we had VAR and we saw it on the screen. Yeah, we all saw it, and I was like, "No way, that is not." If he gives that as a penalty,
he just got enough of it, Yeah. He got enough of it.
Yeah, without VAR, maybe it's given as a pen.
Oh, I think it's absolutely given, especially because the ref was like on a line behind them, so you don't.
Yeah, Leno probably would have stayed.
Leno would have stayed on his line or come out of the box and grabbed it with his hands. That's what he would have done.
He probably would have ran the other way, because he does things weird anyways.
Maybe that validates my theory then, maybe, right?
I'm sorry. I've been seeing them writing about Martinez over here, and our Stoop crew doesn't even want to hear me talk about Martinez anymore.
No, Tony doesn't want to hear about it, but he keeps putting his name in the chat, so I don't understand what's going on here.
Is this Tony Turner?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Oh, you fucking bastard.
Nice one.
He never wants us to talk about him, but he keeps pushing his name over and over again. Even if it gets close to let's talking about a goalkeeper, he'll just push it over the edge and go, you know what? You're talking about Emmy, aren't you? And I'm like, maybe not.
All right.
I've said forever that
I'm glad that the referee went to the touchline, looked at it, overturned the decision, did the right thing.
Yeah, but why didn't he run straight?
Anthony Taylor seems to be one referee that is on our side most of the time. They shouldn't be biased, but I'm saying,
twice in a week, VAR could have saved their ass.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Craig Paulson on Sunday as well. But Stan, I wanted to talk about as well signs of a team forming. We'll go around the house on this one. So we've seen the input of all of the new signings come in and make a difference. We're talking about Tavares earlier. We're talking about Sambi, all of these players. I'm seeing signs of the team forming. Yeah, look at Ramsdale, what the effect he's had on the back four.
Yeah.
Protecting Tierney from that situation.
Yeah.
And lots of other things, like Tavares coming on, playing really well to take the heat out of the game as much as he could. So what are you seeing? Are you seeing little shoots, and what are they, Stan?
The new players that we brought in, it's funny, right? Because I'm seeing improvement. I like the look of the players that we brought in. No one's looked really out of place, but there is still something missing in this team. There's still something that isn't right. So, I'm already seeing it now on Twitter. Apparently now I've got to wait till next summer so that we can buy a winger and a striker and maybe a CDM. There always seems to be this distance with it. It's always like, next this and next that, we will do this and we will do that. And I'm like, we've got to somehow fix what we've got. There's no way that I'm going to just fucking ride out this season and put it and just give everybody a pass because we need a winger. You know what I'm saying? We've got to do better with what we have. And I think with what we have in that upper part of the midfield going to the forwards, we should have enough. We should be able to get more out of Lacazette, Aubameyang, Martinelli, Saka, and ESR, and Pepe. and have Balogun making some fleeting appearances here and there. But we should be able to be getting more goals out of that group.
Aren't we so close, Stan? A couple of those passes come off. We're in on goal. Saka in the first half. Emile Smith-Rowe that shot over the bar in the first half. I think we're so close.
Listen, when I used to work in sales, right? One of my sales managers always used, when you like, I didn't get that deal, but I almost got the deal. And he always used to look at me. He always used to look at me and say to me, if you're that close, you may as well be. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't getting any commission. My landlord don't give a fuck how close I was to the deal when I ain't got the money to pay the rent. He ain't interested how close I was.
Hey, we have a term, just a quick side note, we have a term that is close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Which is that, close doesn't fucking matter.
and going back to what I said earlier, where there seems to be, when it comes to Aubameyang, that some people feel that, it's the system, not him, and other people think it's him. All I will say is that I've seen him getting into good goal-scoring positions. Don't get me wrong, I've seen him out on the left, crossing into the box, and there's nobody there. I'm thinking, why is he doing that? But I have seen him getting into good positions and just missing things that he should be putting away, missing easy chances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost won the lottery.
Mr. Tom said I almost won the lottery. I only needed 5 more numbers.
Exactly.
Mr. Tom, spot on.
All right, Tony. You came in with piss and vinegar. Starting out with piss and vinegar. You've gotten quiet now, so.
Because he's been in the comments. He hasn't stopped commenting.
Oh, well, he's pretty good. He's good. He's good interacting.
Wind-up merchant, this guy.
Sam is a flip-flopper. So
you haven't fucking wicked to me, right? That's why.
I gave you your time. Did I not ask you, were you done? You said you were done.
I said for now.
Do you see any?
Tony, you can't let them invite me to a show. I don't let anybody talk.
Oh, that's I'm
working hard here, Gary, to cut him off at every.
I'm being good today. I haven't said a word. I even let Lolo just continue to talk.
You're good. You're good.
Just keep on going.
Tony,
did you see? Fucking shuts up.
Tony,
did you see anything show of the day here?
Tony, did you see anything good on Saturday? Any shoots of positivity?
Yeah, he saw the new Spider-Man. It was nice.
I saw the fans, somebody they hated, come out. And do great in Ramsdale. You seen Kokahiro come out, play great.
Yeah.
You seen a Brazilian giant, Gabriel, come back, play great. Other than that, there are not too many positives, but those three definitely.
All right, if you turn off your camera, you're getting skipped. So, Gary, what did you see? I see. If only my auntie had bollocks, she'd be my uncle, said Mr. Tom. But, Gary, what do you see signs of a team forming? I think Ramsdale. I think Ramsdale has been key in this, helping the team solidify these last 2 games.
I think what we saw, we now have at least 5 out of our starting 11 set, I believe. Definitely 5, right? That back line and Ramsdale should be our starting back line and goalkeeper going forward, unless we have injuries or people need to rest. That's it.
Yeah.
That should be it. We shouldn't see any changes to that come Sunday. That should be it. If somebody needs to get a rest, they get a rest on Wednesday. If not, they play. If they're allowed to, if they want to play them, that should be it. Those 5 done. Partey healthy, he's in. All right. I'm not sure. I know everybody feels Xhaka is going to have to play, so there you go. Spot gone right there. Odegaard, I believe, is his starter. All right. So it's either Odegaard or Milshaw-Rowe.
Martin, Gary.
I'm talking here. You shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Don't say another word. You're interrupting me. I'm talking here. Grown folks talking. Shut it. So I feel like that those 5 at the back, I think those are settled, and I want that. That's it. We're done. No more Leno and Leno out. No, Leno's done. You're gonna spend $30 million on Ramsdale when it's all said and done. he starts, right? That whatever that bonus is, it's paid. Just don't worry about it. It's gone. If you can get Leno out in January, you do it.
What about Martinez, Gary?
Why are you bringing him up? He doesn't play for us anymore.
He's poking you.
You and Ray do every.
Riddy, you're right.
I never talk about him to you because you're the last person I want to talk to about that. Not anymore. No more from you. But no, the back five is set. Everything in front of that is a little wishy-washy. I think Sambi should play, but I don't think Arteta is. I think he thinks that's too much of a risk. I think it's actually a good thing to have a. I think Saka. I kind of was talking about this earlier today. I kind of feel like he's not an everyday player for us right now. I think he needs to sit for a little while and just see the field from the bench, get his head right, and get back in.
He's a national treasure.
You know what? I've seen Foden sit, and he's supposedly a better national treasure, right? So he can sit. If Arteta knows what he's doing, he can sit because he's not going to get the best out of him playing him day in, day out right now, and we don't need him to do that right now. If we're talking the future, guess what happens if we keep playing him? He's going to be gone in the future. So you gotta work. We talk about man management. I think Stan talks about it all the time. Man management. These players are not going to get you top 4 today. Maybe not even tomorrow, like next season. But they will get you there if you give them the base. They need a base right now. They're not getting it right now. They're just getting thrown in, play. Then you get injured, and I got to pull you out. Nope. They got to go through a cycle where they can get some games and get some times to mentally reset their bodies, to mentally reset. So he can't. I don't think he needs to play as much as he does, because by the next international break, if he's worn down, we're in trouble. Right? He's going to be in trouble, and the games. There's no more easy games for us.
Wednesday.
We started with the easiest and we fucking lost 3-0.
So there's no easy games for us going forward. Everything is a near you're gonna get fired kind of a situation when he plays. Because think about that, he goes out and he plays, and if we don't win, even I think a draw we'll be okay with, but we can get smashed.
He's dug himself a hole. He's got to get him out of.
He has to play to win this thing by 2 goals so he can jump them. Because if he does that, guess what happens? If he jumps them, guess what happens? He's gonna have everybody on his side, and then we'll be okay. But if he comes out and falls flat on his face, if he comes out, brings in Lacazette and says you're playing a false 9, brings in Xhaka, and then pushes Partey out there knowing that he's not going to give us 100%. These types of things, we've seen him before. He's going to have problems. So, like I said, the back 5 is set. Everything in front is still a question mark right now. I believe he'll play Odegaard because he did spend the money on him. Pepe should play, but Pepe is a question mark too. We don't seem to get the right Pepe, right?
I thought Pepe played. I thought he played quite well. He tried out there. He was defensive.
Well, you just answered your own question right there. He tried. You just answered the question. If you say
my daughter gets graded.
You can't say he played good. He tried. Guess what? Adu said.
Demand effort, Gary. You can't demand effort from your team and then say,
Gary,
he tried. That's not enough to try. He went out there and he played hard.
Talking like America, man. Where we get participation trophies.
Adu is trying too. Guess what? He should get fired.
I threw that shit away. I was like, you lost the championship. I was there.
I just think we wanted 11. We wanted 11 players to play at Burnley, and I'm going to use the word try or put the effort in. Put the effort in. Is that better than try?
No. None of what you're saying. No.
He went balls out, Ray. He went balls out.
Right. I used to think Javinho and the Bowie tried. I used to think Glenn Helder tried. It wasn't.
Eddie McGoldrick.
You know?
I used to think Zachary Sanya didn't try.
Eddie
I used to
McGoldrick.
think Sanya didn't try.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh Jesus, he worked his ass off.
I like the way he tracked back. I like the way Pepe tracked back. But Riddy's right. Last week was the best show we'll ever do. Well, maybe the chat was the best. It won't be. It'll be undefeated like our
squirrels.
Squirrels. It was the squirrels. Yeah. Listen, Lolo, we got to bring you in. Gary, are you okay?
No, I don't even know where your comments are coming. Where you were going with. You sound like a duo. I'm just gonna get my 11 guys out there. We're gonna play nice together. We're gonna go in formations. Everything's gonna be so free flowing.
I saw work
Gary
rate from Pepe. Isn't that what you want? You want work rate from Pepe? That's what I saw.
The work rate is fine, but why can't you take a good first touch? And why can't you press the triangle button?
But there was many players, Lolo.
Why does the pass have to be behind everybody every time?
Yes, there was about 4 or 5 players that had that.
Oh, yeah. It was more than him.
Right? And we're going to get to... Gary, I want to move on, but I want to be sure you're okay.
No, you're... I didn't like where you were going with that. You sound like a duo. And Adu is you're getting fired if I was owning this club. I don't want 11 players playing okay together. No, I want 11 players out there winning me trophies. That's what I want, and I can't get that if we're just playing.
Don't leave me hanging, Gary.
Oh,
don't leave me
how do I
hanging.
do this?
Other side.
There you go.
There you go.
Gary, look, he's loving this. Look, he's loving this.
No.
Tony's loving this.
Come on. There we go.
No, seriously, but you gotta. You can't say try. Pepe can do better. I know he can.
It's my podcast. I can say try if I want to.
Yeah.
It's my podcast.
I'll try if I want to.
No. I think he can do better, and we know why he isn't.
I got it. It's my podcast. My podcast. I can say try if I want to.
Try if I want to. Try if I want.
Gary, you would too.
Try to if you played for Arsenal.
All right, Lolo. Ask everyone else. All right, maybe we can just move on.
Do whatever you want, man. It's your podcast.
Are you seeing any signs of team spirit, Lolo? Real quick before we get on to the next one.
Any signs of team spirit?
You got like 30 seconds.
I've got spirit. Yes, I do. I've got.
Have you seen any of Nirvana and Team Spirit?
Yes. That was Teen Spirit. And yes, we do have the Teen Spirit. We have a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds.
Don't use the word try.
There was something. There was something said by Martin Odegaard in the press that makes me think that the question you asked and your little comment kind of go together with team spirit, teen spirit, where Odegaard said something like, "I'm really happy here. We're forming something together. Plus, we're all young and da 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 da." And it was like a throwaway comment.
Yeah.
It was a throwaway comment, but he said, "Plus, we're all young," and I was like, "Wait, that Aubameyang's like, yes, me too. I'm 36." But what that showed me was they may be forming a connection of the youngsters of the 25 and below, I guess.
Yeah.
Where they may be forming more of a connection than we understand. Because kids these days, as you know, they do with their social tweets and their internets, all get together but I feel like they may be forming something that is stronger than if you look at other teams that have like your, Thiago Silva's, Ronaldo, players like this, where they are the team and you are on the team. For us, I feel like the young guys are starting to feel like, oh shit, this is our team. We are the team. It's not
taking ownership.
Yeah. It's not like a bunch of veteran players and us. It's us with a couple of veteran players. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there is some sort of team spirit.
There's something coming together. And listen, it's been 2 years. It's going to be 2 years in a couple of months, and it's about bloody time something's starting to happen. Hopefully, been calling for this about a year ago, letting the young players come together. I've been calling for this. I think he held the handbrake too much last season.
Yeah.
And we fell into the abyss.
He fucking broke the handbrake.
End of November into December. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Do you mind if I just go back on one quick comment?
15 seconds.
I don't know if we're going to get... Okay. So the whole thing about Partey in the middle, and how we're going to... I forget what you guys were talking about. But I'm an old guy. When I go to a Partey, I like me some Sambos. So I would like to see
Sambi.
Oh, no.
There you go.
But for me, he's Sambo. I'm going to get me some Sambos.
Sambi.
I got you.
You got me. The Irish guy got me.
I got you.
I think Sambi Lakanga, I really, really enjoy his play. But between the leadership power of Partey, because we can't forget Partey's not just like a glorified center back that plays midfielder. He likes getting forward a little bit, and he likes picking a pass. Sambi or Sambo can cover that as well as go forward, and I like his creative play. We'll still have to see if he costs us anything by being overly ambitious, but I really like the combination of a Sambo at the party.
Way over 15 seconds, but I'll let it slide.
You need to get a louder alarm.
Tony,
I didn't
101 points for Mr. Tom. Great score on. If I did that, I know that
he scored like 20 last week, so don't be too impressed.
Tony, highs and lows, right? Tony, nominees for Tony Don Juan, man of the match, Tony, and we'll tear you apart. We'll tear your nominees apart.
This is where Lolo's that love me, and I'm gonna go with Ramsdale.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the one I said that scored a brilliant goal, which would be Odegaard.
Okay.
And the other one should be my big old great Brazilian jungle man that I love.
Gabriel.
Be Gabriel.
Like we're waiting. He might say Gabriel. He might say Martinelli for some reason.
No. Stan, we're starting to see a pattern here. You know, the players that Tony loves, and he shoehorns them into the man in the match every week.
Well, Sambo is impolitically incorrect.
I was thinking exactly the same thing, man.
I know Sambo is a sandwich.
Listen, Gabriel had a great game. Sambo is a sandwich in Ireland.
Yeah, I thought it was a sandwich.
Definitely right.
I didn't know it was politically incorrect.
Yeah.
No, is it? I didn't think so.
I
didn't know it was right.
Well, you can tell me afterwards.
Let's go to Sambi, but Sambo in Ireland is a sandwich.
Yeah, it's a sandwich.
Yeah. Okay. Stan, your nominees, who shone for you?
Odegaard, for that piece of skill. It was a lovely piece of skill. He backed the points. So for me, he gets the man of the match, but I think Aaron Ramsdale as well. He helped to keep us in the game. He helped keep a clean sheet with that back pass and got us out of jail. But as I keep saying, we need to really fix up at that sharp end, because we might not get a free kick in the next game. Then what? You know what I mean? That free kick, that's an opportunity. We took that opportunity. We made the most of it. Great. But we might not get the opportunity in the next game, and we have to get goals from open play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
definitely.
Odegaard was yours?
Mine,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Or Deserted Farm. Yeah. Translation. Odegaard. Gary, who have you got? Who's shone for you, Gary?
Wow. I mean,
you won't say Odegaard because he can't say his name. So
no, I won't say that.
Or say it one way. Don't correct yourself.
For me, I'm telling you, I loved that back four. I mean, I did. I mean, for me, that back four is what I feel like. That's what we wanted. We wanted all four of them. And we got all four of them now. So I'm going to say the back four I know they've still got some work to be done. But they came along. They started out a little flaky. They had a little couple of oops, but as a whole, and what we've seen in the past, I kind of really like that back four. I mean, I like the I like the clearances that you get from Tomiyasu and Gabriel. I know, and they even got some clearances with the head from White as well, right? Saying that he can't do that. And he actually showed up and actually was able to put some headers in to clear the ball out of there. So, I think those three, along with Tyranny, I think that's going to be promising for us, and that's why I think we need to keep. They need to play. Yeah. They need to play, and I think they're happy to let Tyranny bomb up the field, which I think is even better. And we know we're going to get some solid defense behind him. And then every once in a while, if Tomiyasu does want to make that move up top, move up field, he'll do it. And I feel a lot more comfortable with that than what I've seen in the past. So I'm going to go, for me, the back four, because I
think the player, Gary. It's down one.
The old collective award of the back four, right?
I'm telling.
This ain't being one of them MVPs.
Who was the best of the back four?
I'm going to go with Tomiyasu then, because I didn't really see too many things negative from him. I saw some stuff from, I guess it could be him or Gabriel. Crap. Damn. Between the two of them, I think they did really well. Tierney had some times when I was like, and White definitely had some times when it was like, uh-oh. But Tomiyasu and Gabriel, I think, gave me more positives on that back line. So between the two of them, I guess I can go with Gabriel. Yeah. I know Tomiyasu, I've talked a lot about him, but Gabriel, I guess, for me, we've been missing him. We're missing, I think, what Luis gave us last season when we got the good stuff from him is what we're getting now from Gabriel. We missed that. We missed that guy in the back line talking, actually showing what he can do and actually doing it, right? And he does it well. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that, Gabriel.
Yeah, he bailed Ben White out a few times, and that's what you want your central defensive partnership to do. Lolo, who have you got for man of the match?
I as well have Gabriel, because I do agree that, yes, we may not have won the match without Odegaard from that moment of brilliance. However, as I said earlier, keeping Burnley out when they had 8 corners is something huge. And we don't have that many big guys. We don't have that many heads. We don't have that many people in the box. And Gabriel was in there for every single one and fought. But also, I know that I do not know as much about football and have all the cameras to watch everything that's happening on the pitch. But for our back line to take that sort of an assault for as long as they did and stay true and pick up mistakes, that means to me the leader of the back line, which is Gabriel, he must have been doing something that I don't even know what he was doing. So to me, he kept us in the game. We should not have scored a goal based on the way our offense was playing. I don't think we should have scored a goal. They were terrible up front. Terrible touches, terrible passes. And so we got a free kick, a moment of brilliance. But the fact that we were still in the game was due to Gabriel's leadership in the back. So Ramsdale had a fantastic game as well, but Gabriel's going to be the leader back there, and he'll be the future captain of the team eventually once he learns it. It's perfect.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Tomiyasu, but Tony, you're going to settle on one, and you settle on Gabriel. So, yeah, good choice. Brazil. All right. And as I think Mr. Tom said here, you've talked about the match for longer than the match lasted itself, and that's kind of what we do here. So, yeah, definitely.
Would you guys mind if I asked the group a question?
Yeah, go for it.
So we were doing these on our show earlier today of what will happen next. and this was a what will happen next that it concerns Arsenal. But so Arsenal have a long run of going behind in the first half and not winning, right? How long has that been happening? That's like 20 games, 20 matches, something like that.
Yep.
And Man United have a long run of going behind and then winning their matches. So which will happen first? Man United go behind and they win? Or Arsenal go behind? No, Man United go behind and they lose. Or Arsenal go behind and we win. What do you think will happen first this season?
I'll go for Arsenal going behind and winning.
First, do you think it'll happen?
Yeah, it probably could happen on Sunday in the North London derby.
So less that Manchester United will stop their run of going behind and then winning like a bunch of
times. Yeah. Gary, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so too, because I think United always has that opportunity to get a penalty kick. So unless that trend changes, I see them always having that opportunity to at least draw out or actually get the win like they've done in the past. So I think Arsenal, I think we can do that because I think we can, if we start using our bench, I think we can make some differences in games late. And if we make the changes early enough, we can get those points or that goal to take the win if we need to in a close game. So yeah, I think we could do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Arsenal. It's gonna break that streak.
What about you, Mr. Tony?
Man United lose from being behind.
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna happen last week. God damn.
All right, so listen, I'm going to address this with the assembled. We mentioned Sambo because in Ireland, it is a sandwich. That's all it is.
I'm totally. I am 100% sorry. I had no earthly idea it was anything else but a sandwich. I've always known a Sambo as a sandwich. I'm totally sorry if I offended anybody.
So the assembled. I hope that's enough for you now.
Yeah.
We have acknowledged.
Me saying sorry to you.
If anyone else on the panel wants to say something, that's fine by me. But that's
I will because I'm from England as well, and I know from a certain era back in the United Kingdom, Sambo was used as a very derogatory word against people of colour. Some of you might not know that, but I just put it in the chat there.
Not at all.
If you want to know what it is, I just put a link there to a song on YouTube by KMD called Who Me. It's a hip hop song. It'll tell you everything that you need to know. But it is kind of like it's a word that you don't really hear too much now. I'm 52, so I've grown up in around the 70s. It was kind of okay. If you ever watched a TV show, right, Love Thy Neighbor. Going back to the 70s, like the Carry On films, it was like a TV show. It was a TV show about a white family and a black family that lived next door to each other. And they would just call each other names back in the days when it was acceptable. And I'm half Jamaican, and my granny from Jamaica loved it. And the white family, the white guy was called a black guy a Sambo. And the black guy would refer to the white guy as a spook or whatever. You know what I mean? And all that. It was just, but it was a comedy show. So I know what it means, but it's a very old word that you don't really hear much these days.
Yeah, no. Once again, I know it from my Irish family who refers to sandwiches to their children. You want a little Sambo? Mm-hmm. So once again, I suppose I should stop saying it then.
Yeah.
I think originally as well, it was a story from a book going back years and years ago called like The Adventures of Little Sambo. And if you read the book and you see where it's set and you see the depictions of the character, it will just tell you everything you need to know.
Gotcha. So once again, I just want to say I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
No. I'm not offended by it. It's a very old word. I doubt you'd have even have known it.
Yeah, not at all.
Well, listen. This is not what we're into. So, yeah. So the assembled. If you want to just, I don't know what. I don't even know where to go from here. So.
Yeah, no, we're sorry for using that word, and we didn't. Like you said, we didn't know.
Don't worry.
The history behind it. So
we've acknowledged what was said, and that there was not. It's done. It's done.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's just talk real quickly about the Wimbledon and North London Derby. Gary, I think we're probably going to see heavily rotated squad for the Wimbledon game, and we're going to come back to something like we saw on Saturday for the North London Derby.
Yeah, I think the only change I would hope we're going to make, or sorry, I don't want to see a change at all. Let's just start with that. I would like to stay with the same 11 for like 3 Premier League games in a row, and let's just work it out. Let's figure it out with what we got, But I know everybody believes that we're going to see it, right? We know we're going to see it.
No, don't say it.
I'm not going to say it, but we all think what's going to happen. He's going to surprise us. He just can't do the same thing twice, right? And there's no reason not to. He's going to rest Partey, so we don't have to deal with that. He's going to rest Tierney, so we don't need to worry about that. If those two are healthy, then they play, and then everybody else should play as well, because he should be trying to build on what he did in the last game. And if he can't play the same 11 again, he'll never be able to do that. You can't bring in a player who hasn't played for 3 or 4 weeks now in the biggest game that you got going on at that time. He can play on Wednesday if you want, but he can't play on Sunday. Even if he goes out there and has his best game of his career, he cannot play on Sunday. You cannot kill what you just started, right? I think you did something good. You had a lineup that you should be able to play with for the rest of the season if everybody's healthy. I still believe Aubameyang isn't until he has. At some point, somebody's got to talk to Aubameyang and say, "Look, if you're not doing it, I'm going to have to pull you. I don't care if you got the armband. Otherwise, everybody else plays, right?
Yeah.
Just give me the same 11. It shouldn't even be that big of a deal. Same 11.
Yeah. How long do we persevere with Aubameyang on Sunday, Gary? If we don't get any production out of him,
if by halftime he hasn't shown you anything, then he's out. You got to do it at halftime. You got to. I mean, you bring Lacazette in because you could be behind if he comes out and doesn't give you anything. So Lacazette should be ready to go if he's allowed to play. I don't even know he's even allowed to play. I mean, right now it looks like we have just one striker, right? Because Balogun probably just isn't going to play, and Eddie Nketiah should not play, and Martinelli is not allowed to play for some reason. It seems
not
allowed. None of these strikers that we have seem to get played.
Why is he not allowed?
I just got visions of Martinelli walking into Arteta's room and he's like, "Excuse me, boss." And Arteta's just like, "No. Yeah, but can I? No,
you're not allowed to play.
No. Yeah, I just want to. No. No. All right. See you later."
So that's what I'm feeling. I mean, why is it Martinelli should be one of the first people coming off the bench for me?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he'll get a run out on Wednesday, Gary.
Yeah, that's the thing. He should be getting a run out on Wednesday so that he's ready to go on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He comes out on Wednesday, maybe he gets his 90 minutes, but he's coming off the bench on Sunday because we need to get something out of the game. We need somebody who can do that, and Aubameyang can't do it for 90 minutes anyway, so forget about it, right?
He can.
He can't. He's proven. How many games has he played now? 2, 3, right? No.
I wanted to ask everyone, do we think Granit Xhaka comes back in on Sunday? I mean,
you weren't supposed to even bring it up. We went through this whole thing. I didn't even bring up his name, and exactly as soon as I'm done, you bring it up. How?
I did this.
No, you said the name.
It's the fucking Andre Irish inning.
Sorry, but it's a real thing, Gary. He's part of the squad.
Yes, Ray, he plays.
Arteta will pick him, right, Gary?
Next question.
No, I'm not talking about it.
Okay.
I don't want to. We shouldn't have. He shouldn't need to play.
Is Xhaka in the midfield Sunday? Yes or no, Gary?
He should not be in the midfield.
Edu has said, Stan, that Granit Xhaka and Partey are the number one choice in midfield. It's sad.
But he said that. But look at the last game. He said, didn't he? He said that if either Partey or Xhaka are injured or whatever, he said that Lokonga is the next man. That's what he's there for. That wasn't the case last week, was it? Because Xhaka's out, Partey was there. He played ESR and Odegaard. So you can't believe anything that these people are telling you. Yeah. He blatantly said the reason that they bought Lokonga because he said he is the next man, as he kept saying, the next man. If Xhaka and Partey are injured or need to be rotated, he comes in. That didn't happen last week. So we can't take what they tell us as gospel. You know, does Xhaka come back into the side? There's that part of me. I'm not a Xhaka fan, and I don't want that to happen. But this game for me is so important. And we've got it's quite strange, you know, to have a team of about when half of them are new to your squad, and you're integrating them all at the same time. You know, a lot of people say that you can't actually do that, but we are doing it. And there is a part of me, and everybody knows who watches me on this channel, that I'm not a Xhaka fan, but there needs to be some experiences. I'm torn. I'd like to see us do it without him. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe we shouldn't be relying on him. Let's try and do it without him. Let's try and get something out of it without him. And maybe if we do that, it might give Arteta belief that he doesn't have to rely on him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this game is so peculiar. It's a derby game, right?
Yes.
You know, it's one of them derby games. Anything can happen. Does he just walk back into the team? He only walks back into the team if somebody that's been playing in his position has had a nightmare. Because if somebody,
I think walks back into the team irrespective, Stan.
I mean, in a perfect world, right?
When he's fit, he plays. I think. You know.
So you could say, what? So okay, so Leno's not playing then. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a similar sort of thing, right? If you see what I'm, you know, is he going to stick with Ramsdale? So if Leno plays on for the Wimbledon game, then he ain't playing on for Tottenham. That will tell us, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If Burnley will probably play the Wimbledon game, but Ramsdale will come back in for the North London derby. And Mr. Tom said that even Xhaka's mum is a Xhaka fan at times. You know,
Stan, I think I hear you. Of it is a North London derby. Do these new boys understand that?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Xhaka 100% understands that.
Yeah, but does he have the tools? I'm
not the biggest Xhaka fan either, but a lot of what happened last year in the North London derby.
Does he have the tools though that the other
players? My
have?
argument is that the last North London derby, I kind of had Bellerin in that similar frame. If anyone knows what this game means, it's Hector Bellerin, and he was absolutely fucking dog shit.
Yeah,
and that's why I was so pissed off with him. I was like, out of everyone, you can't. If Hector Bellerin can't get himself up for the North London derby and try and show some of these newer players what the score is, it really disappointed me. It really fucking did. That one before, I was like, you know, where'd you go from there? He's been there for how long? He knows the score when it comes to
8 years.
He knows the score. Yeah. So and Xhaka knows the score, right? Aubameyang knows the score. Lacazette knows the score. Tierney knows the score.
That's the only reason why I would say Xhaka can come back for this game. That's the only reason. I don't know if I want it or not. I kind of want it in a wrestling, like World Wrestling Federation type of way of like, let's make this. If it's gonna be a derby, let's get some fucking red cards, you know?
Do you think he went 4-1? Let's say, for argument's sake, it was 4-1 at Burnley. Do you think he did that to try to perform formation for Sunday in the Northern derby?
He only plans for that game and that game alone. And then he comes up with a brand new one. We may see Aubameyang playing left back against fucking Spurs. That's how Arteta is.
It depends how the wheel spins.
He tries to like figure it out.
He just spins the wheel. He doesn't try to figure it out.
Oh, well, yeah. You're a lot more. I give him a bit more credit than you do, Tony. But
yeah, let's round it up then. Predictions for Wednesday and Sunday. Gary, an easy win on Wednesday?
It has, yeah, it should be.
It should be clear cut, right?
I'm going to say 3-1 win there, and we need to do the same thing on Sunday. So I want to jump ahead of these guys. So 3-1.
You're going for 2-3-1 wins. And you know, if we get the atmosphere pumping at the Emirates for that North London derby, it could be all of that. And it's the team selection you and I know is going to be key on Sunday morning when we do that pre-game podcast.
I'm not looking forward to it because I know he's going to surprise us, and I don't want to be surprised. I want to be able to pick the 11. You know, we should be able to pick the 11. Like, it's got to be the same 11. Yeah.
That back five, but I agree with you. That back five is set now, Gary, and barring injury, it's got to stay.
Yeah, there's no reason why it shouldn't be that because they probably should be resting. Leno gets his game. Tierney isn't playing for sure. Maybe Gabriel gets some time there just to get keep him going because he's only now it seems gone back. White doesn't need to play, right? And Tomiyasu can rest. So maybe Gabriel gets some time. If everybody else plays, that's some off the bench.
I would go far as to say pick a completely different 11 on Wednesday than you do on Sunday. And we can do that.
Arteta won't do that.
Right. Won't do that.
All right, Lolo, what's going to happen Wednesday and Sunday?
Wednesday, 3-0. 3-0. We get some goals from some youngsters. It's not a completely different 11. I think Ben White will see the pitch. I think possibly Gabriel and possibly Partey as well, just for some time and kind of an easier one. But you guys got to remember that I don't know what I'm talking about. So, and then when we go to Tottenham,
accept it.
Tottenham, I'm going with 2-0 because we could get 3 or 4, but it's more important that we keep a clean sheet. And it's going to be a tough one because we always play each other tough. But I think we find 2 goals. I think Saka gets on the board. Saka gets one.
He needs one.
And Aubameyang gets another one. Yeah, and I think it's more important to Arteta to keep a clean sheet than to score a shit ton of goals. I think if we could keep a clean sheet run going of 2 games, we've already got 2 games, so 3 games, 4 games. That is going to be more important because listen, we know Aubameyang's a goal scorer. We know this is weird that he's not scoring goals. It's not the norm.
It's not been a full year though.
He doesn't score against the big 6 though.
Tony's banging that drum again. We've heard that one before.
Either way, we know it's weird that he's not scoring. It's not the norm. So we know we'll score goals eventually. It's more important that we keep clean sheets. So I think that's what we're going to be going for.
Yeah. 4-1 on Wednesday, 3-0 on Sunday. I want to have a better goal difference as Ray Anderson. Rady's going for 3-0 and 1-1. And Rady has that fear of a draw. Tony, what do you think Wednesday, Sunday?
Wednesday, I think we'll see 6 of the 11 players we've seen on Saturday. I think we'll win 4-1, like Ray just said there. And on Sunday, you never know what's going to happen. Spurs have sucked ass the last 2 games. We've won 2. So it'll probably be a draw.
So they'll kill us, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
that's what I thought you were going for.
I like that. I like that the brakes have been applied to Spurs. They're slowing down. They're losing games now, and hopefully we can take advantage. Get a win. Certainly 3-0. I think is fair for Wednesday. I think we can probably do them 2-1 at the Emirates in a similar scoreline to last season. Stan, close it out.
You know what? I'm exactly with my man Riddy Sarkar, aka the Canterbury Gooner. 3-0 with Wimbledon. I think we get a clean sheet there. and we score more goals than we've seen us score in the league. But then when we go back to the league with our first 11, it gets a little bit cagey again. And I think that we've definitely got a goal in us, but I'm just worried that we're still going to have trouble finding goals in the Premier League. And I think that Tottenham have got a goal in them as well. So I go for that 1-1 as well. That's the reason I'm going for that. So yeah, same prediction is really there.
I think we start to connect some of the dots and some of those passes that we're missing on Saturday. They come off, and maybe we have a little bit more creativity and are a bit stingy at the back. So want to thank Gary for jumping on late as usual. Stan, Tony for being here, and Lolo, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Now it's time for Ray to take 20 minutes to wrap this fucker up.
And now we're going to land the plane, so thanks. I mean, yeah, there's the squirrel, right? Nice one, Stan. The theme from last week. So I will see you guys later on in the week, and take care. Everyone be safe out there. Positivity, and we'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Gooners, up the Arsenal. Let's get 2 more.